Overwatch is an old game, and with this many heroes, so far, with all these newfangled new generation zoomer heroes, the older ones are bound to struggle just a little bit, unless you are Tracer. We can already see this kind of happening with a couple heroes in the roster. It's going to be hard to make every hero viable 24/7 and in a good state, because with each change, balance patch, and with every hero that gets added, more new problems just kind of creep up from it. I've only been playing Overwatch 2 for about a year and a half, seriously, and there's been a lot of changes that basically make 2022 to 2023 Overwatch a completely different game than current day Overwatch. All these changes have indirectly and directly made some heroes struggle and others thrive. It's a risk that comes with every single patch, but hey, that's just a natural progression of the game. That's life, baby. If you change something, there's a good chance some heroes are gonna benefit more than others. That's pretty much why we got metas. But then we got heroes that just kind of suck nowadays. Sure, they're playable, but in a variety of circumstances will it be harder to get value on that specific hero. There's quite a few heroes that I think have pretty much fallen off, or at least they're just kind of suck to play now. I'm gonna be going over them, and the first one is Junkrat. Oh, how I love you. Okay, so we all know that Season 9 wasn't the best season for Junkrat. If you remember, that season sucked the soul out of every single Junkrat main. That Season 9 patch was more painful than reading posts off of r/Overwatch. But since then, there's been a bunch of buffs and indirect buffs to help make the rat a little bit decent. Still though, Junkrat isn't really seen as a top character for most people. I mean, hey, come on now, you're not seeing Junkrat played at the OWCS, are you? Some people even think he needs some help to help hold his own better since, you know, the combo's not as lethal. I even conducted a poll asking if you guys thought that Junkrat needed a rework or just some help. And overall, it was pretty surprising. I didn't expect most of you to say that he's pretty fine. I kind of was thinking that people would be 50-50, but no. A lot of you think he's pretty decent, so that's pretty cool. Some of you guys suggested to give his combo back. Me too, man. Me too. Some other changes were suggested to add some slight tweaks and change-ups to his kit. Personally, I think Junk is in a pretty okay state, but gets outclassed by other heroes for doing what he does just better and easier. Junkrat really struggles in open areas and with long ranges, but I don't really think you need to buff that aspect of him simply because that's kind of a part of his design. It's an intentional nerf made by the developers to balance out Junkrat, so I don't really think he needs help there because it's supposed to be an intentional nerf to him. He's supposed to suck at those aspects. It's kind of just a skill issue. It's more so about doing so much for a kill here and there. Combo a hero, then hit one more grenade. Make sure to punch when you combo so you can kill a 250 HP hero. The combo is going to set them up and it's going to send them flying, so make sure you hit that air shot. Make sure you predict where they're going to go. Oh my god, they're going to outstrafe you. Oh my god, make sure you aim. Come on, aim. It was much easier pre-Season 9 just because, you know, you could throw the combo and it was pretty lethal. And honestly, I can't believe it was that easy to secure eliminations. Like, it almost seems broken looking back at it, but now everyone's health is buffed, tanks are stronger, and yet Junkrat remains. Although now you can combo some heroes with an asterisk. Spilo even made a video about potential reworks for characters, and Junkrat was one of them. He offers some pretty good ideas and some insights into what he thinks Junkrat should be. He talks about nerfing overall damage, but making the concussion mines more mobile, and adjusting the primary fire's arch, along with some of its speed, allowing for more flexibility for Junkrat. Spiel's ideas actually aren't that bad. Sacrificing some DPS for some flexibility seems pretty huge. If anything, Junkrat needs to be a bit more flexible, instead of this little niche pick that people only pick to meme with. Some good ideas overall, but I just want more health. I don't think Junkrat needs a damage buff, but just more health to survive for half a second longer. Put him at like 300 HP like Reaper and Cass. What is bro cooking? But I don't know if that's gonna make him busted, but it's an idea. Yeah, thank you. Hanzo. Okay, so Hanzo is in a pretty similar state to Junkrat. I got a question for all the Hanzo mains too. What would you want to see from Hanzo? And this pretty much goes for any other heroes that you see on this list. Since Season 9, his headshot has become less lethal. This man can't one-shot anymore. The random Hanzo headshots were really what made Hanzo kind of a pretty okay pick. And his burst damage. I love walking out and dying to random log. It was awesome, yes. It's like dying to random junk spam. But now the headshot is gone. And what does he have? 5 5 HP heroes. I mean, you got the Sonic arrows, but I mean, Widow and Sarma do the exact same thing. Why play Hanzo when you could play Widow or Ashe, who are much better snipers? Why use the burst arrows when you can fan the hammer on a more consistent character with more health? Wow, I just realized that both Shimada brothers are pretty mid heroes. Wow, I think they need some buffs to compensate that. Alright guys, time for another round of Genji nerfs. After the big Season 9 patch, Hanzo was straight up plastic bag tier. This dude sucked. And yeah, about the health pools. Yeah, more heroes got nerfed with their health, so now you can headshot a little bit more heroes. Now that Hanzo can headshot a quarter of the cast, it makes him feel just a little bit better to play. Now that you can secure eliminations. But at the same time, they nerfed Hanzo's health too? Question mark? They nerfed those characters' health pools because they were mobile, and it was a worthy nerf to make them a little bit more balanced. But giving Hanzo the nerf just kinda handicaps him. Plus, I don't really think Hanzo counts as a mobile hero besides, you know, his little leap, his little hop. If I had a nickel for each time a hero got gutted by losing their one shot, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Losing the one shot has lost Hanzo's identity, and now he's a weird little burst type character who can almost one shot but not quite. He becomes really awkward to play losing his one shot, and some adjustments should probably need to be done to make him feel just a little bit better. It would feel pretty satisfying if they just gave him back his headshot and predict where people were going to be walking to, but now it's just kind of weird. With all the changes done to the game, Hanzo is just yet another hero that has kind of fallen off as the game goes on. Mercy. This one's a pretty egregious one. She's one of the heroes that motivated me to make this video, next to Junkrat of course. Mercy is a pretty controversial hero, and I'm sure everybody is aware of that. Ask anybody and they have their own opinions and thoughts on Mercy. There's a lot of people who hate Mercy, who freaking just don't care about her. And then you got the people who love Mercy and love to play her because she's just super fun and chill. But she is undoubtedly one of the most popular heroes in Overwatch. Also, hello Mercy Mafia. She has her fan base, but in recent months, she's kind of fallen off. All of the changes that have came with the game so far have indirectly nerfed her into the ground, especially the DPS passive, which completely invalidates her. The passive nerfs healing for 2 seconds, and what does Mercy do? Heal and damage boost. It doesn't help that with her core design, the passive just completely invalidates her, and with a combination of all the changes that have happened, and the fact that Mercy can just heal and damage boost, she's become a lower tier pick, since other supports provide just more utility, and are more flexible with a wider range of team comps. She's literally at the mercy of her team. Get it? Please like the video. But yeah, Mercy really only has damage boost and her freaking lemonade beam, while other supports have the immortality frisbee, a belt that does the same thing but better, a shield, speed, more speed. Another plus that other supports have over Mercy is the fact that they can dish out some pretty good damage, and damage is essential for a good team, good for pressuring the enemy team and for protecting yourself. Sure, Mercy has a little Barbie blaster, but it's barely any better than what these people have for damage. Her ult's also kinda useless. Imagine somebody calling out Mercy ult, like, guys, I use Valk, push in. I mean, it's fun to zip around and it's pretty good for stalling, but you can do so much more with others. It's just kind of eh. Mercy is not her. She does not stand a chance against Lucio Beep and Bap Window. To make Mercy more viable is to give her more to do and more utility. But I think you should keep her movement, as it's the one standout thing that she really has going for her. And it's basically what makes Mercy. Should something else replace damage boost? I honestly don't know. It's a pretty controversial ability because if it's overtuned, it can make games feel terrible. Remember Pocketed Sojourns or Far Mercy? Thinking of a replacement and a direct upgrade to damage boost is like thinking of a color that doesn't exist. It's hard. Some others have suggested a more mobile kit that's more centered around movement, and I could go for that. That sounds like a pretty good idea. Mercy is already a movement type of hero, so leaning more into that direction would be a good idea. And yeah, Resurrect. It's quite the ability. A lot of people hate it. I feel neutral about Resurrect, and it could stay if they were to rework Mercy, since it's also pretty essential to Mercy's character because of the whole angel thing she has going on. It's also pretty easy to counter, kinda. You just gotta keep an eye on the Mercy and just camp the res. The only time res feels horrible is when people post their quirky little Twitter posts about it on Twitter and get their rage bait. But sometimes it does feel just a bit bad having a Mercy do this whole game with their pocket. Gets eliminated, just res them. Or they get eliminated, just res them. It's kind of an annoying gameplay loop. Blizzard must be mad confused with the direction they should take Mercy in. I definitely think Mercy needs some help, because she's struggling. Next up, we got Reinhardt. One of the classic Overwatch 1 heroes, and he's definitely seen some better days. A short-range melee tank with a shield. This beefy lad is the epitome of what you think of when the word tank comes to mind. His high HP pool allows him to effectively take all the hits. His shield is also pretty useful for blocking all sorts of things like nades, bombs, bullets. Not fists though, but overall he's a pretty okay tank. It's just that with the passage of time, and with the releases of heroes like Ramatra, Mauga, along with other tanks just doing a better job at creating space with an easier time, Ryan is just kinda there. These freaking Ryan mains are talking about honor, glory, justice. Yeah, whatever, man. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Come on, I'm trying to go home. Yeah, you can still play him if you want. He's definitely playable, but he has such limited range, making going against long-range poke comps a little bit more difficult. And again, it's supposed to be a part of his design. He's supposed to have a rough time with long range, but now there's Ramatra, who can poke out people and also do the whole close range thing too. With a shield he could put up anywhere, and I'm not even talking about release Mauga, where he had a similar charge, where he could also just ignore most CC and stuns. Another one-up Mauga straight up has against Reinhardt is the fact that he can just shoot, and he can just keep on shooting. Yep, he just shoots. Are you having fun yet? He has lifesteal too, so don't engage with him until that's done. To put it simply, Ryan is just in a less desirable state when compared to other tanks that are just better. Although, the tank Giga buffs that they did back in Season 11 kinda made him better, but it did the same thing to all the other tanks, so it doesn't really matter. He's in a pretty rough state, and I can imagine all these Ryan one-tricks are just having a rough time. There's also other heroes that by design just kinda suck. Just look at Roadhog. This is just a DPS disguised as a tank. Whenever I see a Roadhog on the enemy team, I just... It's pretty annoying having a character, a tank no less, that you can't really be near or else you just get eliminated. These hooks are just unbelievable too. Like, yeah, I wasn't aware that Roadhog's hook just kinda does that sometimes. Great job, Blizzard. Roadhog has always sucked to play against and to play with. Most tanks have some pretty cool utility and means to take space. For Roadhog, you just kinda use her one shot and bam, they're dead. His counters also hard counter him. Just get yourself an Ana and just throw that yellow jar. The Overwatch team reworked him too, and it did absolutely nothing. He's still the same now, and he has a less effective Junkrat trap. I guess the trap was supposed to make him more team-oriented by placing it around to hurt the enemy team, but it's straight up just another way to one-shot people. Hooray, awesome. Symmetra's also a bit of a weird one. She's just always kind of a weird hero. She's even gotten like, what, 3 reworks? And each one was pretty different for defining her role into the game. She's like a reverse Doomfist. She was a support, but bam, now she's a DPS. Even now, she's just kind of used for the TP strat, or just straight up being map dependent. To all the sim one tricks, I respect you. Though, in my opinion, I don't think she'll ever be all around great unless she just gets straight up reworked again, just by the basis of her design itself. Is that a hot take? I don't know. I don't know, man, it's my opinion. I mentioned Mauga earlier, but yeah, I remember back when Mauga was released, and it sparked a huge debate on whether or not his design deserved to be in a game like Overwatch. Nobody misses Mauga meta. All you had to do was Mauga mirror, and the supports usually just worked overtime in keeping both Maugas alive. It was like a staring contest to see who was out first. Blizzard was even like, yeah bros, we're sorry about that. We're gonna work on the next patch fast, bros, come on. Now he just kinda sucks in current day Overwatch, but if you were to buff him, it would ignite everybody's Mauga PTSD. Talking about the tanks that have fallen off kinda sparks up the 5v5 versus 6v6 debate, cause a lot of the tanks back in Overwatch 1 were meant to be played with another tank for that synergy, but now that we're in 5v5, it's a little bit different and some tanks just struggle since they're the only tank. And that's a whole debate that I'm not going to get into in this video. And plus, the 6v6 playtests are coming soon, so that should be pretty interesting. Imagine Zarya Mauga. Yeah, Overwatch may never have all heroes be good 24/7, and I can't really see a world where everybody is, but I think that's sort of okay. Kinda. And plus, all these new heroes coming in bring a lot of opportunities and playstyle shifts to the game. But also help my mans out. Come on, they need help. They're struggling. Come on.